taking Hollywood by storm. Marc Hawes is in the house. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Congratulations on the massive success of Little. I mean, it has been a smash hit. What's the experience been like for you?
It's kind of been a whirlwind. You know, honestly, like it was something that I didn't know what it was even going to be when I first auditioned for it, like a year ago. And it was one of those things where I got a call from my agent. He's like, "Hey, you booked a movie," and I was like, "Okay, cool." And then it was like, "Wait, what? What?" Because there was like this. I was just so, "Oh, okay, cool." And it was like down in Atlanta, and then I was like, "Wait, with who?" And Issa Rae and Marseille Martin and Regina Hall, and I was like, Oh my God!
I did book.
Oh, yes. Universal Pictures. I was like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
So I was, yeah.
We have been like, wow. Let's take a look
hilarious.
at the trailer.
Hello?
Wake up!
Oh, hey, Jordan.
Be awake when I call.
But I don't know when you're gonna call, so when would I sleep?
When I'm not calling. Am I being unreasonable? No.
No, it's not unreasonable at all.
Excuse me?
Taking the boss ladies on a warpath this morning.
I'm money. I got money.
Every morning.
No! Ding dong! Ding dong!
Money.
I really think I could help this company if you just gave me a chance.
Just concentrate on being my assistant.
Were you always mean?
I got big and I got rich. So now who gonna check me, boo?
I wish you were my age. Then I'd check you, boo.
What is going on?
Is this rich people Postmates? Put me in the middle of that. Who are you?
Well, I'm April with the A for available.
So
awesome.
Wow.
It looks like a ton of fun. Was it fun?
Oh my gosh, it was a blast.
Yeah.
It absolutely was. Yeah, I was on set for just under 16 days.
Wow.
So it was, a long haul, but it was great.
So what were you, if you had to go back to being, in elementary school, how much have you changed from then till now? Are you still the same personality?
Yes and no. I mean, I know like we're gonna go a little bit further than elementary, but like in junior high, I wore wind pants. That was the so you could hear me coming a mile away, like the shh, and like I don't know, that was a thing back then.
Yeah, it's like parachute pants.
Right? Exactly. I mean, I was never cold.
Yeah, that really. Yeah.
I grew up way upstate New York, so like it gets chilly there, but like you can cuddle that wind,
Well, in those wind pants, were you manifesting this destiny for yourself?
It's just like I hope there's something else.
You were like, life is really funny. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'm ready for something else now. So, so I definitely have grown up. I've changed. I don't think I've lost the little kid aspect. I think that really helps everyone. Just I think it's important as an adult to learn and always remind yourself to play.
Mm-hmm.
Take time out of your day, just do things and have fun.
It could be easy to say that as an actor, right? Because you get to play all of these roles, but how do you really truly embody that in your everyday real life when you're in the face of rejection? Hollywood is a tough town. Like, how do you stay in that spirit of Little?
Oh gosh, it can be tough.
Yeah.
It can be absolutely tough. I think it's one of those things is that you go into every audition and you go, it's my opportunity in here, and you just have to be like, if the stars are aligned, if I look exactly what they're thinking about, if I sound the way they're thinking about, if I was maybe a little bit thinner, maybe a little bit heavier, if I forgot to shave today, and like all that stuff can really start to drain on you, and then it's just like, just forget it. I think the song "Let It Go" from Frozen.
That sums up life, right?
Clearly, I need a music teacher. Funny enough, you are one.
Hey, before I was an actor, I taught music.
Wow.
Yeah, that was what my undergraduate degree was in music education, concentration in voice.
How fun.
Yeah, and I taught for 3 years in the public schools in New York State. So,
and that broke you of your habits of enjoying music and loving music.
you know what? It instilled it even more.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes out here I don't always get to do that because a lot of the time with film and television, there's not always there's not a whole lot of musical stuff. There is, but I haven't had a chance to actually show that off yet. But I love it. I still do. I still love the music aspect. It's where I felt I fit in, in my high school years. And the music department was just that, and I still like teaching people.
Right.
From
a spiritual perspective, just going a little bit deeper, one of the most advanced things you can do in this lifetime is find your voice, to really find your specific voice and actually resonate at an actual vibrational level with it, from mantras to whatever. I'm imagining that if you're working with somebody and developing their voice, finding their authentic part of themselves, doing their inner work, how much you do that part of work with them?
I think it's super important. When I went back to get my master's in acting, I went over to England and the Birmingham School of Acting. It's now the Royal Birmingham Conservatoire. It's been queened, we really worked on finding your voice, finding where the voice comes from, and I think that in itself changed how I actually approach teaching now, when I work with a voice student or when I work with someone. And it's about unlocking. It's about finding that low, deep resonance and just allowing it to open up and just let yourself, be heard. And the thing is about voice too is voice is different than most instruments, because if the instrument is for instance, saxophone or any other instrument, if it's out of tune or, the reed breaks, it's the instrument's fault. But when it comes to the voice, it's you. And I feel like sometimes people are like, oh, I'm not a good singer, but I have this idea where I think everyone can be taught.
I do too.
Everyone can be trained, and it's a personal thing.
Yes.
It's a very, very personal thing.
Wow.
And it's a fun journey to go on.
So what are you most excited about now? What are your new projects you're working on? What do we have to look forward to?
So a couple of years ago, my writing partner and I sold a script that we wrote when we first came out here.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And we sold it to a Chinese investor, and it was one of these things we were like, wow, okay. And so now we are in pre-production on a short film where we extrapolated the characters out of it to use for promotional and funding. And so that's where we are right now. And it's really neat. It's really exciting. It was the very first feature we ever wrote. We had no idea what we were doing at the time we did it, and we had some really awesome mentors that we found out here, and one that is very dear to my heart, Mr. Ken Rothkopf. He's passed away just this last October, but he taught us so much. And I love that man to death, and so those are the exciting things. So he lives on in our script, and I think that's one of those things that we're super, super excited about where that's going to go, and yeah.
That's so good.
That's so
well, this little thing is going to become bigger and bigger and bringing your gifts to the world. So thank you so much. Tell people where they can find your personal brand.
They can find me on Instagram at Marc Hawes. They can find me on Twitter at Hawes, and and my Facebook is Marc Hawes as well.
Awesome.
So
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you so
absolutely.
much.
Appreciate
Hey,
you.
thank you so much.